Your name is?
Brian.
And my name is?
Alfons.
Yes. And I come from Barcelona. And I met Brian 7 years ago when I started large in the Coracle, in a house called the Coracle. When I met also David, Ian, Nicola, and Annie. Well, I heard about large 7 years ago from a friend, a French guy, that I met him in a speaking group, one of these groups that we meet people from different countries, and we learn different languages about just speaking to each other. So he really recommended to apply for large because I was looking for a job, and he said, "Oh, you would really enjoy the job there. People are so friendly, so just try to apply." And so I did it, and here I am after 7 years. So I first started in the house called the Coracle 7 years ago, and I met Brian, right, Brian, in the Coracle?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who else was in the Coracle?
Brian. Brian, Alfons, Dave.
Dave.
Dave, Nicky, Annie, Ian.
Nikki, Annie, and Ian.
Ian. Annie.
So when I first started, there was a bit of struggles because I haven't worked in care before, and also, do you remember, Brian? I was struggling to make out what were you trying to tell me on the routines.
Yeah.
Remember? And so Brian uses certain keywords to let you know what he wants. So there's a bit of a language barrier there that you need to learn and need to understand what Brian is trying to say. And Brian, you were very clever because you were helping me and telling me what was next in the routine. But still the struggle was there, and you were also clever when I couldn't make out what he was saying. So he had to just wait, and then he called an experienced assistant. It was Julia, and Julia. So she just came upstairs and she asked Brian, what do you need? And Brian just said what he need, and she just translate me or tell me what Brian was trying to say to me. So after these struggles, obviously things were getting better, and things were coming easy. And also Brian was helping me a lot through all the learning process. And do you remember, Brian, when we planned the first holidays? It was actually the second holiday when we went abroad. That's when I found out that you, Brian, liked to go on an airplane. Right, Brian?
Yeah.
So we planned a trip to Barcelona with Brian. So what we visit there in Barcelona? Yeah. We went and we see the monuments, and you take the airplane there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went with Julia to Barcelona, and Brian had the chance to go there, and it was really exciting because it was my hometown. So I feel closer with Brian than ever. So Brian could see all the places and all the spots I've been, around and living there. So one of the first things I remember from the trip to Barcelona is when Brian met my family. It was really cool because it was challenging first because my parents didn't learn didn't know to speak English, and so it was difficult to translate what Brian was telling them and what they wanted to tell Brian. So my mom was asking him things like, "Did you like the city?" But he was saying in Spanish, so I would have to try to explain to Brian, right, Brian?
Yeah.
So after that funny moments, because it was a bit crazy translating from one side to another, um, we went for sightseeing, and Brian was really excited to go and see the places in Barcelona. And we just went to a big cathedral in the heart of Barcelona, and so I was really worried because the mass was in Catalan. So I thought, Brian, maybe, I don't know if you would enjoy the mass. But when we just got into church, and Brian was actually following the mass in English at the same time what the priest was saying in Catalan. So he was really enjoying a lot the mass. And I was really impressed with you, Brian, and all that time there. So this memory, it will always stay with me, right, Brian?
Yeah.
When I first start the job, I felt a lot of responsibility because I had to support Brian with all the activities. So I was, on one hand, I was worried if I would really engage with Brian in all these activities, but it was really I was really pleased because he had he liked a lot of things that I enjoy, like going to the cinema. So we like Star Wars movies. So we've been going to the cinema and watching movies together. Um, Obviously, the holidays is just a lovely time to go and do sightseeing together. That's one of the most things I enjoy doing with you, Brian. Anything going out to the pub and enjoying the meal together. And when we go and we go to Wetherspoon, Brian, and we order chicken and
Curry.
chicken curry, yeah, and then we also go out, or we meet some friends when we celebrate your birthday, Brian. It's really lovely. So we have what we have on your birthday.
Yeah.
We have cake.
Yeah. Above.
Yeah, with Alphonse. What do you enjoy doing with Alphonse?
Nagagagamo.
The time in the cortical.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had lovely times in the cortical. And when we go out?
Yeah.
Ah. Why this friendship is so special to me? I wouldn't know how to put it in words. I think it's just a feeling. It's just a feeling of every day caring about you, Brian. So it becomes from supporting Brian and helping Brian to care about him. So it's an everyday feeling that I learn about it. People often ask me why I'm still in large, why I like so much this job. If I go back, I wouldn't see myself where I am now. I came from a different background. It's in sales. So the first thing my thoughts were I wouldn't be good to this job, or I might be not enjoy the job. But I've learned a lot about this because I just had to go out of my comfort zone, which I really like, but I had to do it, and it really paid back because I really enjoyed so much supporting Brian, and obviously I've been quite good at it. So I wasn't expecting at all, and it became something really grateful and pleasant to me. Also, what it keeps me going, it keeps me here in Larch, is it's a simple thing. It's the guys. It's Brian, you, David, all the guys here in the house. It's what it keeps me going. Yeah. Now in this current crazy times, we are missing a lot of activities, a lot of things that you, Brian, and me, we enjoy doing together. But I promise you, Brian, things will go back to normal. Yeah, we're gonna keep going the things we were doing. We're going to the pub. Yeah,
Yeah.
having chicken and chips and chicken curry.
Chicken curry.
Yeah, and meeting the friends for meals. Yeah, going to the harbor,
Yeah.
meet Fran, Tommy,
But they,
Francie, yeah, and also going on holidays with the aeroplane.
yeah.
I'd like to say thank you to Larch because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't come out of this comfort zone and I wouldn't learn what I've learned about our friendship and about giving me the opportunity to come from scratch, from another background, and just being so friendly and welcome, and especially you, Brian, for helping me so much through all this journey and this experience we had together. Thank you, Brian. I think you're a true friend. I love you so much, Brian. Thank you, Brian.
Stop.